Welcome back to the Get Chatty podcast. And today we are spilling the tea with the tea trainer. Christie, how are you?
Hi, I'm really good. Thanks. I'm looking forward to spilling the time, energy, and attention tea with you.
Oh, I love it. So can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, what is a time, energy, attention trainer is?
Well, it's holistic time training. So, a lot of the times people think about time management and productivity as very much a push kind of get as much as you can out of every second, every minute, kind of vibe to it. But holistic time management is about looking at your whole life and not just looking at the hours that we have in a week, but looking at how have you woken up today? How is your energy level? Where is your attention? Are you able to focus? Do we need to be looking at interruptions and distractions and things like that? And even taking into account what's happening in your community or a bit closer to home, family, or the like. So those three things come into play. So time, energy, and attention. We start looking at all of those aspects rather than just yeah, productivity hacks and tips. Mm.
That's very important because, like, at the moment, there's a big conversation in the working world about productivity. If we have a holistic view about how we are spending our time, energy, and attention, that can really help our life because it should be just rush, 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 and keep going. From data, a lot of people, particularly men over the age of 55, that within a year after retirement, they get a heart attack. And
Oh.
I wonder if there's had anything, and many of them have a working life that is just about go, 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 and
Mm.
not having that holistic approach. And it could be not so good. Oh
No,
gosh, I went on a tangent. Sorry about that.
oh, it's a very good tangent. It's true. It's needing to look at everything that we experience in our life and move away from the idea that we can compartmentalize work and life, and that they do influence each other, and that just as that research shows, work is not something we're going to be doing forever. So be we need to attend to the other areas of life so that when we do retire, we're still fulfilled, we're
Doing.
still feeling, yeah, that we're still human. So that's what holistic time management has always been to me. It's helping people do the things that they need to do, um, like keep on top of helping themselves, like medical
Mhm.
appointments, self care appointments, things like that. And then also having the space to have hobbies and things that light you up and make space for the stuff that often falls to the very bottom of the list. And that
Unfortunately.
a lot of people feel like, oh, when I have time or when I'm retired or I'll do that later. But what if that never comes? Like, what if that isn't in your cards? So we need to look at how do we do that now? How do we have balance in that in our life so that we can really enjoy every day instead of thinking about a possible future.
Sorry of another tangent, but it for some reason it reminded me of saving money. Like you can save money, but you still should have a little bit to enjoy now. It's
Yes,
it's
exactly.
not like yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
this is
Well,
interesting.
well, actually, like a money budget, it's often a good way to help people think about time, because time is it's hard to organize because it's not
Mm.
tangible, right? So that's one of the first things I do with people if that's something they're struggling with is how do we make time tangible? How do we make them understand that yeah, you can think of it as a budget, and that yeah, you're how much time are you spending on things, and are those things worth your time?
I
Mm.
swear this part was not rehearsed.
No, it's very good.
Oh gosh, this is thank you, thank you. Well, all right, so let's go back a little bit. How does one get into that space? What happened?
What happened? Well, what happened was I traveled a lot as a child with my family around the world, and I loved organizing. I loved organizing my room. I loved getting organized. And I think for me, it was a way of grounding and it was a support for my new environment. So growing up, I always loved organizing and got a real kick out of it. And then I was living in Canberra with my family, and people commented on how organized I was, how much I fit into my week, how organized my desk was, and stuff like that. And then I fell into, well, I know I found an article about someone in Sydney who organizes houses for a living. And so then I was like, oh, people are getting paid for this. This is fun. So that's how I found myself in house organizing. And then after multiple years of that, I moved to Melbourne. I started my business and was house organizing. I realized that time management and life admin was actually where I wanted to focus because a lot of the people wanted to get their house organized, but outside of our sessions didn't have time to continue the work. So I was like, oh, I think the time management comes first. So that's where my passion came out of. And then I switched my business from house organizing to time management focus. So, and then over time, it's become more holistic in its way. And so now that's where we've landed as a time, energy, attention trainer.
Actually, that's also a really good pivot because it really helped managing your business expenses and overhead. And also, you can do that. You can help people who even live a little bit like further away from you.
That's right. I have clients, well, in New Zealand, in WA, in Sydney. I'm
Ooh,
in Melbourne now, but they're in Queensland. So I'm international. It's really
there
fun.
you go. Now, you actually have a very lovely business name, which might have something to do with your last name. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So my business is Flora and Order. It's a pun off of my last name, Flora. And it's funny, people hear my last name and they think, oh, are you a florist? And I'm like, no, I'm not. But
Oh
that would have been
no.
perfect. But yeah, Flora and Order came about because I started this blog in Canberra to talk about organizing, to talk about life hacks, and just for a space to explore this passion of mine. And I was thinking of an idea for to name it, and I was like, I don't know. And then I asked a few friends, and then one was really good with puns and was like, "What about Floor and Order?" And then we were both like, "Dun dun." Like the TV show. So, so that was just like, oh
Oh.
yeah, yeah. I think that's it. That's fun, and I think that's part of my approach to getting organized and making use of your time is like it is important and it is serious where your time's going, but it is also fun. It's also it doesn't have to be hard. So I like Floor and Order as we've got the order in there, but it's a bit quirky. So I think that's kind of yeah.
I
It
quite like it because it
yeah
actually has a very organic feel to it. Like
yeah
what you're doing is more human. So,
definitely
oh
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, because a lot of people say like, oh, I've tried this AI product, or is there something that will help me with my tasks or help me organize my day? And I'm like,
Mm,
there are definitely tools that are useful, but it's still not there yet that it
yeah,
knows what's important to you. It doesn't know the
the
dynamic of,
nuance.
yeah, the nuance of like your day of like if something comes up and that's urgent and it's an emergency, it doesn't know to bump the other things or that's still something that you have to do to decide what are my priorities today. Mm.
Mm. Well, and the other thing is like even um, AI is not AI is not a bad tool. Like that's true. But then the other thing is because at the moment AI is generative AI, not sentient AI. So the big difference there is generative is about predicting what the next word might be in a sentence. So in a way, there's a lot of if you may, almost like a people pleasing situation instead of having a slightly difficult conversation, because sometimes managing your time, energy, and attention can be a difficult conversation. It could be a good thing, but it's still good to have a trainer like you.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, thank you. Yes. I think it's still important to have those
Yeah.
human conversations and to keep yourself in the driver's seat of what are you working on? What are we focusing on?
For many people across generations, that they find that a holistic life is important and more important than the perception of work is everything, or you're just focusing one thing in your life. So this is so interesting. Now we're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and then go a little bit deeper into some of the things that you've done and some of the things that I experienced. But we'll hold that for a little bit. No spoiler yet, but we'll come back very shortly. Welcome back, and Christie's still with us. How are you doing so far?
Very good. You're a delightful interviewer.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Well, I think we should go into some of the things that we know about your space, and then if you can give us a little bit of introduction of what that is.
Sure. Sounds good.
So, first thing, what is holistic organizing life audit?
Yeah, so this is a really useful tool, and it's my version of the wheel of life. So if you know of that tool, this is my version of it. So essentially, it's letting you have a bird's eye view of where your time, energy, and attention is going. So you have your slices of life, like health and well-being, socializing, finance, career, etc. And you kind of mark out how satisfied am I with these areas. And then what that information tells us is where your focus is going. And so the unsatisfied areas, they tell us a lot of information about what do we need to change. So then we dig into what do I need to do to have more satisfaction in that area? And then that lends itself to calendaring and making that a part of your life so that you don't feel that unsatisfaction in those areas. And it's a good tool to do regularly just to check in because life's never the same. So it's good to every few months or whatnot, people find their own rhythm and just have that bird's eye view of your life because then it helps you decide what your next steps are.
See, that's very useful, because like sometimes we just go into a certain rhythm and forgot that there are other things that we need to do or should do for ourselves. Now, okay, next one is, what is a decision fatigue SOS?
So for anyone who's heard of or seen the time management matrix, this is my version of it for helping in extreme overwhelm. So the time management matrix, it's about urgency and importance and divides up your tasks based on that. But my version helps you to really brain dump onto the page now, today. Now, today, tomorrow, and next week. So looking at what do you immediately have to do versus what can wait. Because a lot of the time when we're in overwhelm, it's because there's a lot in our head and we need to get it out. We need something else to hold it for us. And so this worksheet is about helping with that.
I think one of the very interesting thing about in this particular time in history is that with social media and online media designed to be addicted, unfortunately, but then that means that we might be consuming our time and energy, and attention has actually become part of the capital. And in a way, that making a decision of doing the right thing for yourself, it's almost like reinvesting. Like let's go back to the money analogy again, like, because attention is indeed packaged as resources, as capital.
Yeah. It's true. And just like with money, you can't buy everything. So with Well, most people can't. but
Well,
but same with time. So you're so right. In a world where we have a lot of social media, we have access to so much information. You can find
mm,
out what's going on the other side of the world. A lot of my work is giving people permission to make choices and to be like, you don't
mm.
need to be across that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be doing this today. It's okay to think about doing that next year, the year after. Like, so permission to shut down on some of those things. Like, there's just so much information. So if you prefer reading over reading blog posts or being on a screen, sticking to books is a good way to kind of just reduce, like narrow down what it is that you're intaking. Yeah, so I'm running a class shortly about closing your tabs because I see so many people have many tabs open on their computers and it
Yeah.
causes a lot of stress. So the permission is to decide, am I going to read this or is there an action attached to it? When am I going to do that? And delete it. Just close that tab. So just like with budgets, where is my time going? What am I spending it on? And yeah, the reality that you just can't do everything.
Well, it's like setting boundaries with yourself in a
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Gosh,
right.
good for you. Well, the thing is, like, we talk about these two, and both of these tools are some of the ones that you have available on your site.
Yes.
And well, before we go into the next one, what is your site?
My site is floranorder.com and you'll find these resources under the resources tab. Yeah, floranorder.com.
I'll put the link on the show notes. And
Oh,
another thing is because the thing is sometimes that our body has something to do with how we spend our energy and time, and also like that space. One of the very useful tool for many gender diverse people assigned to female would be their menstrual cycles. Instead of just saying productivity, do this without thinking about someone's body. So you actually have a tool to help people reduce overwhelm, isn't it?
yes, so I have a masterclass about the menstrual cycle tracking. So it's an overview of what does that mean and how can we use that to better live our lives by this cycle. So for myself, I'm now 40, but I came across this information when I was quite embarrassingly 33. So I came across this information, changed my life, and I thought, why didn't I know this earlier? How have I not known the power that is in my body and that it just takes you off the hook. It helps to understand why there are weeks that you don't feel as crash hot as other weeks. And so you stop blaming yourself and you go with your actual rhythms. And what I love about this work is that it reminds us that we're human beings, that we are animals at the end of the day, and we can't turn up to work day after day the same. And so yeah, this masterclass, it's useful for anyone who's interested in people and how we work, how teams work together.
Mm.
Because yeah, if you're asking those who bleed, like, where are you up to, and knowing the strengths of each part of the cycle, you're able to capitalize on that. And
Oh,
and it
wow.
shows us a lot of just how society has really been set up to follow the male hormonal cycle, and which is 9 to 5, whereas a 24-hour cycle, sorry. Whereas for female, it's 28 days roughly. So it's a huge difference in thinking about how to do life, how to jump on different parts of what you need to do. Like in my masterclass, I go into the best time for networking, the best time for doing a podcast, the best time
Oh,
for writing, so it's really interesting for people to observe that in themselves and to become their own their own master of what's happening for me, and understanding themselves so that they can apply that to their world. Because I often say to clients who who are bleeding, that like I'll ask them, where are you in your cycle? Because last week they're like, oh, I was just having the greatest week, and this week I'm just having like such a bad time, and I'm not getting as much done, and they're really hard on themselves. And so I'll ask, where are you in your cycle? And they're like, oh my gosh, you're right, I'm due in a couple days. And the light bulb, the change, like, oh yes, okay, phew. Like, it's not that I'm failing, it's just that we've got hormones going on. So the permission piece is really exciting in that space to understand that better.
It's very important because Western medicine is very male based and
Mm.
very, well, I mean, privileged middle class or upper class male based, but let's not go into that much. But the thing is that actually applies to a lot of things like um, work structure, productivity, or even social structure in a way. But then what you're doing is help people to understand their body and how they respond to things, and train them to understand that, oh, I'm human.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's not their
Yeah.
fault that they experience that. And hey, and the other thing is, unfortunately, that a lot of even media, they're quite shaming of
Mm.
the body and its experience. And
So true, so
let's
true.
not, don't get me started with
We
that
could be
bullshit.
here for hours, yes.
I know.
But
No, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it all comes back to time. Like everything in life
yeah.
comes back to time. And yeah, and I find that really interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, about how we spend our time, and how there are things that we try to push against, but at the end of the day you can't.
Yeah.
And then looking at people's individual experiences, depending on what energy cards you've been dealt, if you like if you have a chronic illness or you just need more sleep than the average person, that needs to have a be factored into your scheduling, the way you
Mhm.
approach things. And you only get to know that through observing yourself and applying that, rather than going, I'm not supposed to feel this way, or, I'm supposed to be up at 5 a.m. every day because that's what everyone
Oh
else keeps
gosh.
saying. But yeah, so allowance of who we are. Hmm.
Yeah. Now, I think this is also a very good time to bring up getting stuff done.
It is, yes, yes. And you attended my
What is
Get
it?
Stuff Done party last Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So, getting stuff done party, it was a very interesting experience for me. Now, before I share that, can you give us a very quick overview of what it is?
Yeah, so the Get Stuff Done party is a 2-hour co-working session online. Bring whatever you want, work, life, whatever is hanging over your head, and you get structure to actually complete it in a group of really nice people. So, and I say party
Yes.
deliberately because we should celebrate like getting that stuff done and approach it um, with a more positive vibe. I think that helps, especially when there's something we are putting off doing.
I particularly enjoy that because it's a Saturday morning, because that's almost like you're switching from a work mode to a life mode.
Yeah.
And for me, at that point in time, I have something that I need to be done in the kitchen, and I'm also trying to clean up my email and all of those things. And having this little bit of structure of a 15-minute segment, 25-minute segment, and things like that. And also kind of in between segments to have participants conversing about it a little bit, it does feel better and a little bit more empowered to say, okay, well, I will spend this 25 minutes doing kitchen stuff. And I
Yeah.
don't feel bad about not having done my email stuff because that's what I'm doing in the next 25 minutes. If you ask a friend to do that, that's not
Mm.
a good idea because there can be bias. they can be, and you would have this tendency of trying to either tell your friend off or negotiate or something like that. But
Mm.
when you have a third party professionals like yourself, that you know that you're doing, okay, I'm doing this work stuff. I'm in this co-work space. I am not going to try to get distracted. And if I want a break, it will happen in 15 or 25 minutes. Like, I think that was a really good 2 hours for me. And I'm very glad that I attended. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for inviting
Oh,
me.
I'm so glad that you yeah, had that experience. And a lot of people say that like it's just afterwards they feel so much lighter for having put
Yeah.
2 hours aside to just get through some things. And yeah, that it is nice having a third party, someone who's
Yeah.
objective and who's just gently keeping time and keeping people on track and come back. Okay, what are you doing now? And yeah, so yeah, I love it. It's been going for about a year now. And I
Yep.
run, yep, Saturdays once a month and Thursdays once a month. So, and I find that really interesting. So I started the Saturdays after a really successful holiday special last end of
Oh.
last year, which we went for 4 hours. It was a holiday special of 4 hours, and I think I'll do it again this year too. It was great, and people were keen for the Saturdays because of like, yeah, maybe I want to shift into life admin stuff. And then other people uh, prefer to do business planning maybe on a Saturday
Yeah.
morning outside of business hours. So I think it's really interesting to see how people use the time differently. Yeah, because I thought, oh, Saturday will just be life admin, Thursday will
Yeah.
just be work, but it's such a mix. And I really,
No, it's
yeah,
never like that. It's never like that, especially like, in the times that we're in. It's not like you just pick up your phone and start a mobile game and that's half an hour gone. And it can happen to many, many of us.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, phones, they're so useful and yet have so many distractions on
Mm.
them. And stopping that scroll
Oh
is a
gosh.
is a real skill to master. For myself, I if I catch myself in a scroll, I give myself two minutes. I'm like, okay, you've got 2 minutes left, or I say you've got two posts left that you're looking at. Um, and if that doesn't work, then I do get a little what's the word? Well, I say to myself, like Jennifer Lopez doesn't care what you're doing, so why are you reading about Jennifer Lopez? Like, just
Oh,
yeah, put yourself
they
back
probably
in
they
the main character energy.
yes. I
Mm,
like that. I like that. Now, of course, all of these information, and they can also they can book in or they can get a consultation on your website, which I'll put on the show notes.
thank you.
Another very interesting feature is you also have a podcast. Can you
I
tell us a little
do.
bit about that?
Yeah. So my podcast or my chatty version is the time chat. So I invite people on who have something to share about time, and it's a space to talk about being human and how do we do time, and just a space to explore that. So I've had some really interesting conversations with different business owners and how they talk to their clients about time, such as like a financial planner, getting people to think ahead about their older self,
Oh,
a sex therapist, and how to make time for intimacy, which sounds boring but actually helps intimacy.
mm,
And yeah, and then other people who maybe have been clients of mine and just want to share their experience and just want to. And then I've talked with artists and the like. So just people who are doing time differently. Yeah.
one of the things that both of our podcasts have in common is about learning from other people's experience. And we acknowledge that everyone's different, but everyone has their own path. And sometimes we just need to have that sense of understanding and be open minded, and we can learn from other people's stories. So it's a very enjoyable podcast, regardless of if that's my episode or not. So go check it out.
Thank you.
And welcome back. Now, Christie, are you ready for a bunch of random questions?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. What is the one item you couldn't live without?
Paw ointment.
Yes. Which talent or skills would you like to wake up with tomorrow?
Ooh. Um, a fake talent would be X-ray vision. I think that would be
Oh,
cool.
oh.
But a real talent would be juggling. I'm trying to master that at the moment.
Ah,
And I'm
good
finding
for you.
it. So that would be great if I could just wake up and do that.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, speaking of being a geek of time, that there might be, what if there's a time travel situation that something in your past had changed, then there's a multiverse version of you. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think she'll be doing?
Oh my gosh.
And not as a T trainer, time, energy, attention trainer.
A dermatologist actually.
Huh? Okay. Sorry. Oh,
Because very grossly, I love Dr. Pimple Popper. Have you seen
okay.
that YouTube
I
channel?
think I did. I think I
Oh my
did, but
god.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
If you're squirmish, I advise not, but I love it. I was just like, yeah, in another life, I could be a dermatologist and just pop pimples.
I don't know about you, but I prefer this version, so I'm very glad. Thank you.
Glad you're in this
Uh,
multiverse.
yes, yes, yes. What inspires you on a Tuesday?
Oh, my partner and I do Takeout Tuesday. So that inspires
Ah,
me. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, it's Takeout Tuesday. That gets me through the day. So that reward at the end. Hmm.
mm. Anyway, what is the biggest business lesson you've learned so far?
Oh, very early in my business career, someone said never throw the towel in on your worst day. And that has kept me
Oh,
going on many hard days. And currently having
oh,
a very good wave. So very glad I didn't and haven't thrown in the towel. But yes, I think it's just nice to recognize that there are days that
yeah.
you will want to throw in the towel, but don't do it on your worst day. Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. That's deep. Good for
Thank
you.
you.
Wow. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Oh, okay. If I was a superhero, uh, I would really like to be able to run very fast to turn back time.
Oh,
Isn't there a
well,
superhero that does that? I think
yeah, I think it. Yeah,
or is it
there's
Superman?
actually Superman did that and Flash did that too. They just
Yeah.
ran anti-clockwise. What is one biggest misconception about your area of work that you would like to break?
Oh, I think that it's all about push, squeeze, get
Mm,
as much time out of your day as possible. That is
yeah,
not it's not why I'm in this business, and that's not my intention at all. It's actually to help people make time for what they love, get more space. Mm.
good for you. How do you keep your momentum going?
Oh, so I keep my momentum going by, well, calendaring. So regular planning sessions with myself to look ahead and building habits in so that even on the days when I don't want to do something, it just becomes automatic. So a lot of my systems are set up to support me in those days that I just don't feel like it. Um, yeah, or like, if I'm bleeding, then it's like, okay, do these three things and then you get to rest, and that's part of the system. So supporting myself through my systems and making it habitual. Yeah.
See, well, that's it's amazing, and thank you for um, doing something quite unique. Actually, there's not many people help train others to organize their time and energy and attention, but it is. so important in this day and age that we think about how our mind and body interact with our surroundings. And you are really helping people to contribute in that and have firsthand experience with the getting stuff done party. And thank you so much for hosting that, and thank you so much for taking part in this interview. Once again, for people interested in finding you, how are they going to find you?
I'm on floranorder.com, and you can find my email address there as well if you want to flick me a note. And I'm on Instagram at floranorder, and YouTube under the time. Well, Flora and Order is my channel, and then you will find the playlist of time chats.
And through all of them, that they will be able to get to your booking form. If they want to set up a time with you, go for it. I think it would be worth it. Yeah, thank you again, and I better set you free. And,
thank you so much.
Right on time.
Well done.
Bye.
Many people say time is money, and you have to spend money to make the money. Within the right context, it could be true, but if you look closely, you could be spending a supermajority of your waking hours being efficient at one thing in life and ignore another. To a lot of people, work is over health. It may look reasonable in the short run, but ultimately, is it worth it? If the circumstances allow, having someone like Christie can be a great boost to one's longevity. At the end of the day, fortune favors those who are prepared. So having time, energy, and attention to catch it makes sense to me. Well, speaking of catching things, okay, that sounds a little bit wrong. Anyway, here are the top 3 lessons I learned from this chat. Christie challenges conventional productivity models that often excluded gender-diverse experience, queer bodies, neurodivergent minds, people with chronic illnesses, and etc. And with the proper understanding and self-acknowledgement, you can really do the best that you can. From an LGBT plus business point of view, you could see it this way. Burnout is not a badge of honor. You set up your own venture to take charge of your life, so choosing to sustain for a long-term over short-term gains makes sense to me. Being rigid is not the only way to get things done. Systems like time audits, decision fatigue SOS tools, and getting stuff done are different ways that she introduced to help you build that gentle structure in your daily life or work lives. Think about our saving money analogy. You can't save 100% of your income, but applying the right tools can help you meet different needs. So the same can be said about time. With the right system and the combination of them, it might help you funnel the way things needed for yourself. So many of us are entrepreneurs or not, or employees can feel stretched, overwhelmed, or alienated. This mainstream productivity advice that may be applicable, but there's also more holistic, human-centered approach that aim for balance. I'm not saying that one must be better than the other one, but you should explore different options and see all of these things that are available and decide which one or the combination of which ones that is most compatible with you. Ultimately, there's more than one way that things can work. I'm so glad that I chatted with Christie. Get Chatty Podcast is produced by me, Arthur, the Chatty Curator. Thanks for your company. I hope you enjoyed this episode, learn something new, or pick up something helpful to realize your aspirations. The podcast guests are appearing in kind, so please consider supporting the podcast by supporting them. Small moments like liking and sharing on social media or send your friend the episode can really help. You can find all the information on the show notes or visit chattycurator.com if you prefer to listen without Spotify or YouTube Music accounts. Until the next episode, thanks for listening and have a great day.